What do you think life was like in the time of Jesus? Did people just walk around in robes all day saying, "Beware of the axe"? Well, here are 10 things you didn't know about daily life in the time of Jesus. Number 10, belly flops were not an option. When Jesus talked about someone being thrown into outer darkness where there would be weeping and gnashing of teeth, this was not an exaggeration. In the time of Jesus, the only toilets were basically holes dug in the ground. And these were not private affairs. They were shared by entire communities. The common latrine was just a big communal bathroom that everyone in town used. So if you wanted to relieve yourself, you had to go to the bathroom in front of everyone else. No privacy whatsoever. No. 9. The roads were a mess. Today we have Google Maps and GPS systems and plenty of road rage. But at least we have nice roads. In the time of Jesus, the roads were terrible. They were dirt roads with no paving or even a defined path. Instead, travelers just kind of made their own way through the dirt. There were, however, 2 advantages to this. 1, animals didn't get lost on the roads because they could just eat the dirt. And 2, it was really easy to tell when someone had walked down the road recently because they would literally leave footprints in the dirt for everyone to see. Number 8, weddings were a week-long event. Today, people get married and then party for a night, or maybe a couple of nights. But back in the time of Jesus, weddings lasted for an entire week. After the ceremony, the celebration would continue every night for 7 days. This wasn't just a bunch of drunken party animals letting loose. It was a celebration of the joining of 2 families and the start of a new family. So there was plenty of singing, dancing, eating, and drinking, but also some serious celebrating going on. Number 7, food was a major part of life. Today, people will fast for an entire day to show their commitment to something, like a cause or religion. In the time of Jesus, people just didn't have enough food to eat. For many people, eating 1 meal a day was a luxury. So fasting for an entire day was actually pretty normal. People would often go without food for 2 meals in order to make room for an evening meal, which was normally eaten around sunset. Number 6, houses were built over bodies. When archaeologists dig up ancient cities from the time of Jesus, they find that the foundation of most houses is literally human bones. Back in the time of Jesus, there were very few building materials available. So people would often use whatever they had lying around, including the bones of the dead. People's bones were so valuable as a building material that grave robbers would dig up bodies at night and sell their bones to builders during the day. So, if you were buried in the time of Jesus, you might not have gotten much rest even after you were dead. Number 5, friends carried swords. In the time of Jesus, everyone carried a sword wherever they went. Swords were used not only as weapons, but also as tools and even for protection. Friends would carry swords for each other in case they were ever attacked. If someone was carrying a sword, it meant that they had a friend who would defend them. No. 4. Sandals were a status symbol. Today, sandals are cheap and easy to come by. You can pick them up anywhere for just a few dollars. Back in the time of Jesus, sandals were a luxury item. Not only were they expensive, but they were also complicated to make. A skilled leather worker could make about 2 pairs of sandals per week. That's why sandals were often passed down for generations. Number 3, men wore makeup. Back in the time of Jesus, men would cover themselves in fragrant oils and perfumes, not only for their own enjoyment, but also to cover up any bad smells. Oils and perfumes were made from plants, flowers, and even animals, and the most popular scents were often worn by the most powerful people. Number 2, wine was everywhere. Today, wine is considered to be an adult beverage. However, in the time of Jesus, children drank wine all the time. Wine was given to children as a health tonic, and it was also mixed with their milk. That's right. In the time of Jesus, people were chugging a milk and wine combo. They either loved or hated it, though. There was no in-between. Adults drank wine with every meal, and it was commonly mixed with water. Beer was also quite popular, and the first ingredient listed in the Bible was barley, which is used to make beer. Number 1, everyone bathed once a week. Today, people bathe whenever they feel dirty. Some people even bathe multiple times per day. In the time of Jesus, everyone bathed together once a week. Public baths were extremely popular. People would cover themselves in oil and scrape it off to remove dirt and dead skin. Then they would wash themselves with cold water and slap themselves to remove any remaining dirt. Finally, they would cover themselves in perfume to smell nice and prevent any disease. What do you think? Does life in the time of Jesus seem better or worse than life today? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe.